Welcome to the Explainer. All right, let's dive right into it. Today, we are decoding the absolute alphabet soup of connected TV ad tech. I mean, if you work in the buying, selling, or development of video advertising, you already know that connected TV offers these incredible, massive opportunities. But yeah, it also comes with some seriously painful technical headaches. So we're going to unpack the IAB Tech Lab's CTV Programmatic Guide, which systematically fixes all those crazy challenges in delivery, addressability, measurement, and fraud.
But hey, before we get into the heavy technical weeds, let's start with a scenario we have literally all experienced. You're chilling on your couch, you're streaming your favorite show, and suddenly you're forced to watch the exact same car commercial 3 times in a row. It's maddening. Why does that actually happen? Well, it turns out this incredibly annoying viewer experience is a direct symptom of a highly complex, totally fragmented backend. And the invisible standards we are covering today are the exact solution to this, and honestly, a lot of other living room frustrations.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to hit the connected TV boom, look at delivery and SSAI magic, figure out targeting without third-party cookies, check out measurement and interactive ads, and finally, lock it all down with brand safety and ad fraud.
Okay, kicking things off with Section 1, the connected TV boom, or as I like to call it, ad tech's primetime catch-up.
Think about it. The very first television was introduced way back in 1928, and then those clunky cable boxes became mainstream in the 1980s. But it really wasn't until just recent years that connected smart TVs totally took over our living rooms. Now, meanwhile, over on the internet, programmatic ad-serving technology, specifically the video ad-serving template, you probably know it as VAST, which launched in 2008, allowed digital web video to scale massively. Today, we are trying to bring that super sophisticated web ad tech to primetime television screens. But here's the reality. The back-end technology has been playing a massive game of catch-up just to ensure those digital video standards actually work flawlessly on your giant smart TV.
Which brings us right to Section 2, delivery and SSAI magic. This is literally the end of the buffering ad.
Now, this concept is an absolute game changer for delivery. Historically, a media player on your device had to make an ad server call, load the ad, play it, and then try to reload the show. That causes buffering, it causes latency. It is a terrible experience, especially for live sports or news. Enter server-side ad insertion, or SSAI. Think of SSAI like a master tailor. Instead of pausing the show to load a commercial, the provider requests the ad on the back end, matches the video quality, and literally stitches the ad directly into the content stream. The viewer just gets one continuous, flawless broadcast. Let's break down how this actually works behind the scenes. First up, a message is sent to the stitching service to signal that a stream is starting. Second, the SSI service requests ads from the ad server on behalf of the viewer's device. Third, the ad server shoots back a VAST tag containing the video files. And finally, the stitching service grabs a pre-transcoded file that matches the broadcast and perfectly stitches it in. Boom. It's this lightning-fast server-to-server conversation that completely bypasses the clunky hardware limitations of the TV itself. So the absolutely crucial point here? Quality. Connected TVs are massive, gorgeous, high-definition screens. A blurry, pixelated ad instantly ruins a premium brand's image. Because SSA needs to stitch an ad that perfectly matches the exact quality of the TV show, advertisers have to provide what's called a mezzanine file, which is really just a fancy industry term for a massive, raw, super high-quality video source file. The publisher takes that massive file and transcodes it into the absolute perfect, ready-to-serve ad for whatever specific bandwidth the viewer happens to have. And to achieve that pristine quality, you need some seriously heavy-duty specs. Just look at that incredibly high 50 megabits per second bitrate and the preference for the Apple ProRes codec. We are not talking about highly compressed, cheap web videos here. We are talking about pristine, broadcast-level quality requirements, ensuring that the jump from a stunning 4K movie right into a commercial is completely undetectable to the human eye. All right, circling back to that super annoying couch scenario we opened with. Why do you see the same ad 3 times? Well, without a standard identifier across all these different ad systems, the stitching service might see 3 different ID numbers, like, AB12, AB34, and AB56, and it just assumes they are 3 completely different ads, so it stitches them all in a row. The IAB Tech Lab actually solves this with the Universal Ad ID. By forcing a globally unique identifier for every single creative asset, the stitching service instantly goes, wait a minute, I've seen this exact car commercial already, and it stops the loop. Problem totally solved. Moving right along into Section 3, targeting without third-party cookies, and the massive privacy shift happening in connected TV.
You hear the phrase cookie apocalypse everywhere right now in the web browser world. But on a smart TV, traditional HTTP cookies literally never even existed. So to ensure the right ad actually reaches the right living room, the industry has to rely on alternative signals. The standard uses the Identifier for Advertising, or IFA, alongside details like the user agent and unique App Store IDs, just to understand what device and app is asking for the ad. And crucially, it includes the Limit Ad Tracking, or LMT, parameter. If a viewer goes into their smart TV settings and actively opts out of tracking, that LMT flag gets passed right along, making absolutely sure that measurement and ad platforms strictly respect the viewer's privacy choices.
Okay, diving into Section 4, Measurement and Interactive Ads. This is a classic out with the old, in with the new evolution. For years, digital video leaned heavily on a standard called VPAID. But honestly, VPAID is clunky. It bundles the executable code and the media file all together in one package. If a TV player isn't programmed to accept it, the ad just completely fails. And even worse, VPAID causes severe latency and is fundamentally incompatible with that SSA ad stitching magic we just talked about. So the IAB Tech Lab is aggressively kicking VPAID to the curb in favor of two new separate standards, Open Measurement for verification and CMID for interactivity.
Take SIMID, for example, which stands for Secure Interactive Media Interface Definition. What's so brilliant here is the separation. SIMID completely separates the interactive layer from the actual media asset itself. This lets a viewer interact with an ad, like, say, scanning a QR code on the screen or clicking to select a product, while the code running that interaction is totally sandboxed away from the publisher's main video player. It's highly secure, it completely prevents crashes, and it works perfectly right alongside server-side ad stitching. Actually, to make all this modern magic happen, the industry relies heavily on VAST version 4.1 and newer. This updated template introduced designated, completely separate spaces for the video file, the verification code, and interactive templates like those end cards. It's essentially the vital glue organizing all these lightweight standards. Finally, we reach Section 5, the highest stakes battle in the whole guide, brand safety and ad fraud. We are shielding the living room.
Look, connected TV commands major premium ad dollars. And you know how it goes. Where the big money flows, the fraudsters inevitably follow. As this quote from the guide points out, bad actors are actively out there spoofing devices and IP addresses. They basically trick the whole system into thinking a super cheap web video impression is actually a highly valuable smart TV impression on a premium network, and they just siphon off those premium ad dollars.
But to fight back, the IAB Tech Lab rolled out a really powerful arsenal of transparency standards. AppAds.tx makes sure buyers only purchase inventory from authorized, legit sellers. Ads.cert uses actual cryptographic signatures so bid requests can't be tampered with mid-flight. And when you combine sellers.json with the supply chain object, it mathematically authenticates every single intermediary node in a transaction. Buyers can now see the exact chain of exactly who touched the inventory and who got paid. It literally stops spoofing in its tracks.
And hey, it's not just about stopping outright fraud. It's also about context. Using Content Taxonomy 2.x, publishers and buyers finally have a standardized language to categorize what is actually playing on the screen. By passing these taxonomy IDs right in the bid request, an advertiser can guarantee for sure that their family-friendly brand isn't accidentally stitched into the middle of a mature, high-risk, R-rated program. It secures brand safety at absolute scale. So, that brings us to our final thought. The connected TV landscape is maturing incredibly fast. And with massive privacy shifts underway through initiatives like Project ReArc, the standards are only going to get tighter. So take a hard look at your own infrastructure. Are you still relying on outdated tech like VPI-aid? Are you passing the right macros? Is your tech stack truly ready to seamlessly stitch the next generation of ads into the living room? Dig into the IAB Tech Labs guide, get those systems updated, and make sure you're ready for prime time.